Well, President Biden will host President-elect Trump at the White House tomorrow. Don't expect to see Melania there. The incoming First Lady is expected to skip her meeting with outgoing First Lady Jill Biden. So is there bad blood? A New York Post source says yes, claiming that it stems from the FBI's raid of the Trumps' Florida home. Now, the source familiar with Melania's decision telling the Post, quote, she ain't going. Jill Biden's husband authorized the FBI snooping through her underwear drawer. The Bidens are disgusting. Now, Melania Trump released this video about the raid back in September. Watch.
I never imagined my privacy would be invaded by the government here in America. The FBI raided my home in Florida and searched through my personal belongings. This is not just my story. It serves as a warning to all Americans, a reminder that our freedom and rights must be respected.
A powerful video, Kaylee, that might portend this decision, why she refuses to meet with Joe Biden.
She is a wife to Donald Trump. She is a mother to Barron. She is someone who has feelings. She's a human being, regardless of what the media tries to do to her. And they say, CNN says, oh, it was a prior scheduling conflict. It has not been finalized yet. But I think this is the incoming First Lady saying, I'll do it my way. We know Donald Trump loves that song from Frank Sinatra. This is her way of saying that. Because to her point just there, the lawfare, the raid of Mar-a-Lago, I just want to remind everyone of that New York Times Katie Rogers story where Biden said to a close circle of advisors that Trump posed a threat to democracy and should be prosecuted. Okay? Forgive her for saying, I don't want to meet with the husband of the person who told that to a close group of advisors.
Yeah, and I applaud this decision as well, Kaylee, because I think it reflects, to your point, an independence, a free thinking, a self-decision making on the part of the former and future First Lady Melania that says, I don't care what you are telling me to do. I am not, because I'm standing up for principle, which it seems the past administration has not.
Right, and you can't blame her. Keep in mind that just weeks before the first assassination attempt on President Trump, Jill Biden was on the campaign trail telling voters that Donald Trump was evil. No offense, but I wouldn't want to have tea with someone who called my husband evil either. And it isn't just Jill Biden. You remember back after Trump's inauguration when Michelle Obama was publicly sniping Melania Trump, who had offered Michelle Obama a gift at the White House that day. And you think about all the ways that the leftist media have dragged her name through the mud. They vilified her for redecorating the Rose Garden, for Pete's sake. They vilified her over a jacket, for not decorating the White House for Christmas the way they liked. All of these trivial things that they used against her simply because they disagreed with her husband's politics. I can't blame her for feeling the way that she does, and I hope that she continues to set healthy boundaries for herself.
Yeah, and we didn't see that with Hillary Clinton when she bucked the plate trend. No one, remember that? She didn't select the plate. No one cared because she was a Democrat, so it was okay. Melania tried her hardest and her best every day. She represented us beautifully as a nation, and she was absolutely trashed for it.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
Look, I just think she's really cool. I just think this is a cool move. I think she's a cool person, the way she's carried out the job. And I think it's great. And for all these people getting in a fuss about, oh, the norms, for goodness sake, who are they to talk about norms? I mean, ever since Donald Trump came on the political scene, they've lost their minds and broken all of these norms of how you engage in politics because they find him so totally unacceptable, and Melania and the whole family. And so good for her.
The irony being that Jill Biden bucked norms when she was in the Situation Room, remember, making decisions for her husband. Remember those reportings about essentially what she was doing. So, yeah, give Melania a break. She's restoring elegance, I think, to that position, personally.
These are some of the most duplicitous people that we have seen lead this country. They eat their own. Remember how the reports were Dr. Jill Biden was so angry because her husband had been taken off the ticket and all the backfighting that was going on. I mean, why in the world would you want to look into the face of an individual who looks into the faces of the people around her and can't be real? Like, if you're angry, express it. Why is everything kept a secret? Why is the nation lied to about how well Kamala Harris was doing, and then they find out, oh, no, she wasn't, which is why she had to pay celebrities to stand up there and go into debt with her donation dollars because none of it was real? Authenticity is what you see with Mrs. Trump. Authenticity is what you see with her husband, the soon-to-be president, for a second time for First Lady. She is real. And I don't have any misgivings about the fact that they don't understand what reality and authenticity look like. It's not like we as people have not tried to show them as being citizens. They don't care about us. How do you think they care about her? I don't blame her. I would do something fun. Take yourself to the spa instead.
Yep. Anything would be better than that meeting. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.